I feel like we need to talk a little bit about the LA Clippers, and I might be one of the only people that really thinks they're a dark horse to go on a little playoff run, right? Now, I mean, let's just take a look at this play really quickly before we dive into it. We're going to get Zoo in the post here. You're going to notice Derrick Jones is going to cross with Kawhi Leonard, and we're going to see what you call a point switch, right? A point switch is something you don't really do communicating. You just point and you basically are saying, hey, Josh Hart, you're going to go take him, without really communicating it, right? So you can get very, very confused here, and Josh Hart still believes he's on Kawhi Leonard. And now once Josh Hart kind of stares down, right, starts to getting into what you call ball watching, this is when you need to cut to the basket, whether it be a backdoor, whether it be a slot cut here or a slot cut there, right? You need to be able to understand the floor, and that is exactly what they do. Look at this pass here by Zubac, flies in, open dunk there for Derrick Jones. But overall, this team was missing what? Norman Powell. They don't have Ben Simmons in this game. Obviously, the Knicks are missing Jalen Brunson. But for whatever reason, I feel like this Clippers team is better than we think, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went on a little bit of a playoff run. And I wanted to break down in this video why and kind of show you this film. I mean, they held the Knicks to 17 points here in the first quarter, or the fourth quarter, my mistake. And with that being said, let's just dive into some film. All right, Big Zoo was huge for them in this game, man. I believe he had 16 points and 14 rebounds, plus 19, actually led the game. So right here, we're going to get this high pick and roll. Now, we really want to read what this big man does off this pick and roll. So initially, he's in a drop zone coverage. He just wants to make sure that they don't get Zubac on this roll to the basket. So he's in a drop zone. But as Bogey starts to drive into the lane, that big man now has to make a decision because we have that leverage on Mikal Bridges. He either has to step up and prevent the floater, or he's got to go guard that back door. Now, Bogey does a really good job forcing him to overcommit up on him and then throwing that lob last second to Zoo, who ends up getting an open layup. Again, I love the versatility of this team. Having Bogey be a playmaker, you have obviously NP. I know that's an M, but Norman Powell, you have Kawhi Leonard, you have a guy like James Harden, so many guys that can take the rock and facilitate in this offense, and Bogey is really starting to fit in with this team off the bench. Tonight played 27 minutes, only had 8 points, but had 12 rebounds. 12 rebounds by Bogey. So I'm excited for him. You can tell he's really locked in with this team. All right, another good play here. Once again, we had a high pick and roll with Zoo and Kawhi Leonard coming off it. We're rolling to the basket. Now, whenever Kawhi Leonard has the ball, it's a little bit different compared to when, Bogey has the ball or Derrick Jones has the ball, right? It's a little bit different because they start to hedge the defense over and start to stagger because they just want to help out versus Kawhi Leonard. So as Kawhi is driving in, he has this thing I like to call, and everyone calls, court mapping ability. The understanding of whenever you're driving, knowing where the defense is going to rotate from, but more importantly, knowing where your teammates are going to be, right? He knows where his guys are because he's just a smart basketball player. He's going to drive inside because he knows, right? If he gets to that inside level, man, we're going to get what you call a blitz, right? A blitz from the top of the floor, and that's going to be from Landry Shamet. And once he gets him to overcommit, well, now our guy Derrick Jones gets a wide open three, late contest, easy money. Great job here by Kawhi, who I believe had 6 assists in this game, and this was a great one here by him, extending the lead to 8 with that pass to Derrick Jones. All right, now look at this shot here by Bogey. Gets a one-on-one off the screen with Landry Shamet, gets to his spot, stops on a dime, spin, fade away mid-range. Again, another reason I really like Bogey is because he can do things like this and create his own shot for a team that, when James Harden is on the bench, they don't have too many guys that can do it, right? So having Bogey off the bench is going to be huge for them down the stretch, and if they really want to make a playoff run, he's going to be an X factor. Now, before we finish off this win by the Clippers, do me a big time favor, guys. Hit the like button for more Clippers videos throughout the entirety of the season, but more importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. It is free, it doesn't cost anything, and we will be breaking down this Clippers team throughout the rest of the season. Offense, defense, individual player breakdown. We got you guys covered, and let's dive back in. All right, so we talked a little bit before, or right when the video was starting, that they held this Knicks team to 17 points. And yes, right, they don't have Jalen Brunson, but they still have Mikal Bridges. They still have OG Anunoby. They still have Karl-Anthony Towns, Miles McBride, and Josh Hart. They still have a good basketball team. Let's just be honest, right? But look at the defense here. Kawhi gets a steal. Bogey immediately gets out in transition. Look at the hustle by everybody on this offense getting out, because we know when you attack in transition, not only are you going to heighten your opportunity to score, but you're going to get a massive numbers advantage here. We have a 4-on-2 fast break. Bogey's going to bring and rotate over pressure to Chua. He's going to get a no-look pass over to Amir Coffey, who is now going to understand he can put this thing up right away, or we can wait for this guy to overcommit to running him off the three-point line, and that's exactly what he does. Gets an open three, bangs it home. Again, defense leads to offense in this Clippers team. Although they haven't been great the last couple of games, this is a team I really like down the stretch, and they get hot. They're a team to watch. Alright, this will go down as probably one of the most impressive plays of the game. Once again, high pick and roll. We're going to put a lot of pressure here on Karl-Anthony Towns as a defender. He's not amazing. So once we apply that pressure, once we get him to fully overcommit to Bogey, we're going to bounce pass it over to Zoo, right? But when this play happens, usually these guards tend to get back on defense because they know, or get back to the three-point line because they know their big man's going to take a shot, right? And Zoo is going to pull up a floater. Look at Bogey. Gets positioning down low and somehow, some way, is able to get a putback floater. What? Over Towns? I mean, look at the size advantage of Towns versus Bogey here, and it don't matter because hustle outwins everything, man. And Bogey, man, I'm so happy he's finally on a team that is trying to win. Not saying the Hawks were bad. They were pretty damn bad. Now that he's here, I'm excited for him. And honestly, guys, I don't think that there was more of an X factor in this game outside of Zoo. Because, dude, every play we broke down, he was the major factor, setting the screen, getting the switch onto the big, right? Towns just not quick enough to handle a guy like James Harden in a high pick and roll situation where now he has to defend both Zoo and James Harden. And look at this, right? We got a beautiful matchup. OG's kind of put in jail where he's stuck behind James. And Harden just going to get a nice little floater, right? I mean, how do you stop it? Shout out to Zoo, man. He's such an underrated piece of this team. Now, from here, the game was pretty much over. They end up winning 105-95 and ultimately go 1-0 in the series so far. They will play them again in about 20 days from now. So, guys, we're going to end the video here. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next Clippers update. Peace.